We have got a brand new event inside Clash Royale called the Goblin Delivery. Inside this event, you have to build a deck using the brand new Evolve Mortar. Later this week, this event will be a challenge where you can earn some extra season tokens. So use this game mode as a practice. Of course, I'm going to show you guys the best deck for this event and how to play it, and the best deck is this deck here. No surprise, Hog Earthquake. The reason why this deck is the best is because you play it like a Hog cycle deck. Everyone is going to be using the Evolve Mortar, so your Earthquake gets so much value. A super solid deck, a super cheap cycle, and straight into a game here. So first play with this deck, I always play this deck super defensive. So I'm going to start slow by cycling a log. He goes in with an Ice Golem Hog Rider, so we are going to play a defensive mortar. And that's another thing you want to do a lot inside this challenge, is play defensive mortars. He goes for his very own defensive mortar, so we are just going to Earthquake that away. Like I said, the Earthquake guaranteed to get value. And now he doesn't have a building in cycle, he still has to deal with this Musketeer, so we did go with a Hog Rider here. He goes Goblins and Logs. That's a good defense by him. We are just going to Ice Spirit just to stop the goblins and just reset. He goes Ice Golem at the back, that's fine. And then he goes Mortar. That's not at the bridge. It's actually in a weird spot, so we are just going to play a Mighty Miner at the back. Get my 3-card cycle going. And I might try and snipe this Mortar across the bridge. Wait for it to lock onto the Mighty Miner. And then play my Musketeer up high. Musketeer is going to get some good value, and I don't really want to go for an aggressive mortar. He does go for his Evolve Mortar. We are just going to Earthquake that. Again, anytime they play a mortar, just Earthquake it. It's a super easy defense. Honestly, I'm going to go for my very own defensive mortar. Going to go Ice Spirit Hog Rider at the bridge here. Going to also Prediction Log his goblins. It didn't quite work out, but that's okay. We still get one hit. That's huge. And as for these goblins, we are just going to play a Mighty Miner. He did waste his Earthquake as well, so we could go aggressive Mortar here. Evolve Mortar at the bridge. If you are going to be aggressive with the Mortar inside this deck, I would say make sure it's the Evolve Mortar, since it's a little bit more tanky. And obviously, if it locks onto the tower, it does a lot more damage. Anyway, he defends. That's fine. We are just going to cycle here. Going to obviously stop that Hog Rider. Make sure that Musketeer doesn't lock on either. He did waste the Earthquake, so again, I'm going aggressive Mortar, and then we will go Hog Rider here, go for an Earthquake. Bad Earthquake placement, but it should be okay. Didn't really affect too much. Mortar's now locked onto his tower, and he's forced to Earthquake once again. We get one shot with the Mortar there. Wasted his Earthquake, so we are just going to go with another Mortar. Going to go Mighty Miner at the bridge. Going to go for a Musketeer here as well, just to help out. And honestly, I kind of want to go Hog Rider, and I think I will. Going to also go for a log here, since he's going to have to play goblins or something. Also take out that Musketeer. Mortar might be locked onto the tower, and it is beautiful stuff. Forcing out another Earthquake, and we will go for another Mortar. We got this guy in a cycle right now that he cannot escape from, and honestly, we are just going to play defense here. Mortar locked onto the tower, doing some good damage, getting 2 shots off. That is massive, and that is going to be Earthquake log range. Throw this guy the good game, and it's all about finding that right opportunity to go in. Another big tip with this deck is go opposite lane. A lot of the time with this deck, you want to go opposite lane to your opponent, so keep that in mind when you are playing it yourself. Going to go with goblins here for this mini P.E.K.K.A. A super easy defense. This Sparky could be a problem, but I think I'm going to be okay. This guy has a very weird deck. We did just Ice Spirit to take the Sparky shot, and then we Mighty Miner this Royal Giant. Super easy stuff. Going to set up an offensive Mortar. Dual lane pressure. He has to deal with both sides. Going to Goblins this Bandit. Mighty Miner makes it to the tower. That is what you love to see. Musketeer taking out that E-Wiz. Beautiful stuff. Going to Hog Rider here as well. And that is game over. Nothing this guy can do. Into another game. Straight away he goes Mortar at the bridge. So we are going to split Goblins to distract the Mortar. And of course we just Earthquake it. Very easy stuff. Mortar shouldn't hit my tower. Going to also play a Mighty Miner just to be safe rather than sorry. That was a good Mighty Miner. He goes for a Bowler, a very weird deck. But we are going to use the ability and then Hog Rider here. Really good ability hitting those Spear Goblins. And he's in trouble. He has to stop a Mighty Miner and a Hog Rider. Mighty Miner is heating up on that Monk. Hog Rider getting a few hits. That is nice. Going to go for a Musketeer here for this Bowler. And honestly, it might get 1 or 2 hits, but that's okay. He does go for his Monk ability. That's fine. And again, with this deck, be defensive. I'm going to go defensive Mortar here. We both played a Mortar at the same time. They should just cancel each other out. Going to go Ice Spirit at the back. Going to go for a Mighty Miner at the back. And we will log away the left side Spear Goblins, since the left side is my weaker tower. Now, I know he doesn't have a building in cycle, so I'm going to Hog Rider here once again. He might Bowler, but that's okay. Hog Rider does make it to the tower. Mighty Mine is tanking. That's really nice. He goes for an aggressive mortar, so I'm going to go for a defensive one, and we are also going to earthquake it here just to help out. Going to go for a musketeer against this bowler. He tornadoes. Okay, a unique tornado. Going to play goblins on the right, obviously to take care of the monk. And we do have a very nice damage lead. As well, we now have the evolved mortar ready to go. Going to go for a mighty miner here. Going to just earthquake that mortar away. Going to go for a log. Going to go for a hog rider. And honestly, there's very little at this point this guy can do to win. Goblins at the back. Going to go for a musketeer as well, since he just wasted the ability. Go for a hog rider. Go for an earthquake. Really bad tornado by him. And that is going to actually win me the game. Earthquake spell, and then boom, a good game. Leave a like and subscribe for more.